Hi everyone, welcome back to the McMahon Group. Thanks for joining us today. You know, being the mother of a teen and a tween, I often wonder how much of what I'm saying to them really are they hearing? How much is sticking? Well, I am so excited about this book that we have on today. The author Dave Walters, this is your baby, your book, Book to My Kids.
Yeah.
What a great concept. You went through the books. Let me just fill in the audience about this quickly of my perception, and I'd love to talk to you about it. But you wrote basically everything about you and your wife in this book to your children on specific topics.
That's right.
That you want them to learn and know.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's, you know, I started to write this book about 3 years ago, well, long before I had the idea of the website. And I found it was really challenging, quite honestly. Three things were difficult. One is to organize my thoughts. Second was to actually put the content in, to write on each one of the things that I wanted to talk about my kids. And lastly, but not trivial, was making it into a nice book, having the font size be correct, having the pictures look good, have the book look like a real professional book. So about halfway through writing it, I created booktomykids.com, which makes that easier. It has chapters that the parents can select from. It has shared content from other parents that they can look at, kind of like a greeting card, and if it's something that the words are what they like, they can use them as their own. But then it also, all the formatting is done automatically for you, so it's you know, everything is right and left justified, and yeah.
One of the things that jumps out to me is this would be a great thing to do with a partner, a husband, a wife, as you're raising your children, because there are certain issues in here that, frankly, I don't know how my husband feels about that, and I don't know what his dreams and hopes are for our children about certain topics, and you really cover a lot of topics. I was surprised to see you cover drugs and alcohol, you cover driving, you cover depression.
Right. Yeah, they're important topics. I mean, not only can you convey your words of wisdom, but it's an opportunity for you to share your philosophy on life. Like, for instance, my kids know my religious views, but do they know what I think about the Big Bang Theory? Do they know what I think about evolution? They probably didn't until they read the book, and maybe they'd be surprised about what I think about those things. But so yeah, it's your opportunity to tell your story. What do you think about all these important topics? And it's nothing, of course, there's nothing like sitting down at the dinner table with your kids and talking about it. This is not to replace that. But this is something.
This is a legacy that you can leave. I mean, for your kids, for your grandchildren. What a cool, I wish I had this of my grandparents.
My dad passed away when I was 30, and I would do anything to have a book from him now. You know, he was a fantastic father. I couldn't have asked for a better dad. But, you know, having his words of advice now, or certain times when I would love to just remember what he would have said on this topic, I could open it up and go, oh yeah, that's what he said about money. Don't live above your means. Oops.
Right,
you know?
right, exactly, especially now.
Yeah, right.
What do your kids think of the book?
They loved it. You know, so I gave it to them on Christmas morning, and quite honestly, there were other things that they wanted to look at before the book, okay?
Yes.
It wasn't like Christmas morning they go, oh, we're done.
But that's like any book on Christmas morning, right? Most children.
That's right.
Right.
But they did read it. They've read it, I'm sure, at least a couple of times.
Yeah.
But, you know, more importantly is they'll have it forever, like you were saying. It's something that 10 years from now, or after I pass away, that they'll have that book and they'll be able to look back and have the memories of what was Dad's favorite things when he was a teenager in his 20s, and yeah.
And you know, technology is a blessing and a curse. I always say it. I'm the first to go on and create these photo books for my children. It does it automatically. It takes all of my pictures from a photo album, puts it in, creates this book. I don't have to do anything with it. But technology also takes away from our family time. It also makes life a little bit more challenging now. So this is a wonderful thing that you've done so that, you know, kids can go into their rooms maybe at night when they're away from the computer, when they're away from all those other things, and really get back to basics.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of outside influences on children. You've got all the different reality shows, you've got Facebook, you've got YouTube, and they're okay. They all have their place, but you want the children to also be able to turn to something else, right? And look at what you have to say on different topics.
How long would something like this take? I mean, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this looks daunting to me to have to put all of this in words.
Sure. It depends how much of the shared content concept you use. Again, you can go in and for every chapter, if you go onto the chapter in marriage, you view shared content and you can look at like a greeting card concept, find You say, hey, I like what that person said about marriage. You could download it in your book. If you do a lot of that, you could actually create a book, honestly, in probably a couple of weeks without any problem, by assuming you're modifying the content. You could create it in minutes if you didn't modify it, but nobody's going to want to do that. So you modify it, you could probably do it in 2 weeks. But I would say, realistically, give yourself a couple of months to do it, because you're going to want to put all the information about you and your spouse. And you're going to want to put
I like that you put photos in here.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
A book wouldn't be complete without pictures.
Right,
so,
it's
yeah.
the whole picture. It's
Definitely.
really
And
the
it's
whole
full
picture.
color. Everything is full color. You get to even design the front cover. And the title. I've heard people say, like, boy, I wish I could just change the title. It's like, you can make the title whatever you want. And of course, you're the author on the book too. So you'll have your name on the spine and the front of the book as being the author.
And you are offering 20% off to our viewers today, actually for the rest of the year, on your first book that you create. 20% off. All you have to do is go to the website, booktomykids.com, punch in AZTV as the promo code, and you can get 20% off.
Right.
So many people have written these books. What has been their response?
One of the very first books that I had from somebody that wrote, their dedication, I recommend putting the dedication on the back of the book. And he, instead of putting a dedication to his kids on the back of the book, I just couldn't believe it. He wrote a dedication to Book to My Kids, thanking, saying, I could never have done this without this wonderful website. Thank you so much for, and it was on the back of the book, which just really, so that's the best compliment I could have gotten.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us today. Book to My Kids, David Walters. You can certainly go to our website at aztv.com for more information, or booktomykids.com.